afford and we do not need attention. So I am so excited that this month's Women's Month's Laurel Crown Talk is called Owning Your Now. And we have the privilege of being able to hear from the owner of Good Health Practices. I am extremely excited. Well, we're going to have a few things for you over the next hour or so. And what I need you to do is there are going to be a few things that occur. We're going to be giving a few things away from our therapist and presenter today. But if you haven't done it, if you haven't been onto our page yet, I need you to go ahead and take the time to go onto Laurel Crown Women. And there is a tab there that asks you for your contact information. And that contact information is going to give us the information that we need later on today. You don't have to do it now if you don't want to, but we're gonna need some of that contact information in order to us to give away some of the stuff that our presenter is going to present on today. And so we are extremely excited. I'm gonna go ahead and start off with a word of prayer, and then we're gonna continue this experience. Heavenly Father, God, Abba, we are so grateful that you give us the opportunity to be in present with each other, to commune and fellowship, to talk, to get fed, God, and to have very amazing and good dialogue, God. You have provided us with tools and people who have tools that are needed for us to be able to conquer the hurdles that we have in life, God. Thank you for being the ultimate strategist, the greatest Father, God. And so we are grateful to be in this space. Give us clarity, God. Open us up. Give us stillness of mind. For every single person who feels like they're in a hurry, who hasn't gotten a chance yet to just enjoy the calm of today, God, we ask for tranquility. We ask for stillness, God. Allow us to be open to your voice as we continue to hear what our presenter has for us today. In Jesus' name, amen. The link is going to be in the chat for anyone who wants to start the process of sending us your contact information. And like I said, you will hear a little bit more about what we are going to give away from our presenter. Again, it is my privilege today to be able to introduce Unique Castell. We had a very good conversation about my introduction. And I asked her, I said, what do you want me to say? Because I mean, there's just so much to say and I'm extremely excited. What do you want me to say? And she said, say whatever you want. So I am extremely excited that I have had permission to say whatever I want about introducing our presenter. And let me tell you, Unique has been a chaplain. For all of you who are not aware of her, she has been a chaplain. She was a chaplain at a few different places, specifically Andrews University, but she has shared her experience and her knowledge of God and tools, right? Wellness tools with a large body of students. She has also been in the seminary. She has pastored a body of individuals. I know she's just like, don't say that, don't say that. But I am going to say it because it's true. I watched her become a pastor. I watched her. She is beautiful at shepherding those that need a shepherd. She was also she has been so much. I have watched God do amazing things through her experience. And now, as the owner of Good Health Practices, she is excited, and we are excited to watch what God is doing with her as a wellness, as a lifestyle and mental therapist. She changes lives. She empowers women. There are so many that have some beautiful stories about her sharing not just her experience, but for being able to share the tools that God has gifted her with, right? Through experience, through knowledge, through her studies. She is excellent at explaining some of life's most toughest scenarios using the most practical things. And so I am excited and honored to welcome Unique Castell to our Owning Your Now presentation today. Unique. Yes. Hi. Hey, yes. Thank you for coming on. I'm going to just ask you a couple of questions and then I'm going to go ahead and give the floor to you.
Sure. I'm nervous, but you go ahead. Ask whatever you like.
Excellent. Can everyone hear her all right? Yes. Can everyone hear her all right? Give me some thumbs up. Everyone hear her all right?
Yes.
Perfect. So, Unique, since you have given me permission, right? I decided that I wanted to ask you a question. And that is, when was the moment where you felt like you wanted to go beyond chaplaincy, beyond pastoral path, and get into a area where, I mean, not only are you an owner of a practice, right? But that you decided, no, God, I know you've got more tools for us. When did you make that decision? How was that for you?
Oh, that's a great question, Lorraine. So I knew I initially wanted to be a psychologist my junior year of high school. I had no idea what the field of mental health had to offer. So after losing 2 babies, I left and went to seminary. I left Alabama because I was working as a therapist in substance abuse. And I was like, yeah, I don't know if I want to do this. And I went to seminary. What most people didn't know was that Andrews was where I went to undergrad. So a lot of people go to seminary to become a pastor. I was on my track to become a military chaplain. And throughout that time, for me, seminary was less about becoming a chaplain and more about becoming the woman of God that was to change the world. And not just from a pulpit where, I am gifted with the parishioners in that body, but God says, no, I want you to reach out to the men and women who will never step foot in my church. And it rocked me to my core. And I remember calling my grad school teacher and saying, I know God is calling me to do something bigger than myself, but I'm scared because I don't know what. And I prayed right after passing my Hebrew comps. I was doing well in seminary and I prayed. I called my dad. I was just like, I don't know if chaplaincy is for me, but I'm going to put out the fleece. And if God lets it rain, then I'll stay. If he makes it dry, I'll go. But my fleece was if my recruiter called me and told me that I was not going into the military, I would drop out of seminary immediately and go back to counseling. And no sooner than I said amen, I got a call from the recruiter saying the Surgeon General of the United States Navy told me that I was not qualified to join the Navy.
Oh my goodness.
Reasons that they did not want to share with me. So my journey to military chaplaincy was done. I told my closest friends, Lorraine was one of them, that I'm leaving. And they said, well, what are you gonna do? I was like, I'm going to Maryland and I'm going back into therapy. And so I knew at that moment, God had called me to a bigger parishionership than just one church. And so I never labeled myself as a Christian therapist. And in certain spaces, I still don't. But I am a Christian who is excited to change lives with the tools that God has equipped me with. So that's how my journey started.
And I love it. I mean, there's so much of that experience. And what I like about the title of your presentation, right, is that owning your now, I mean, requires so much, right? You're dealing with being present. You're dealing with the power that comes with being present. You're dealing with perception and pain, right? I mean, you are dealing with so much, and God is the ultimate strategist, right? He's the keeper of all of the tools, and you are going to take us on this amazing journey that deals with not just your experience, right? But with the tools that we all need, all of us need in order to be in the tension of life, right? In order to be in the tension of life and succeed. And I, for one, am extremely excited and blessed to know and have seen God do fantastic things when we own our reality, right? And when we own our now. And I cannot wait till everyone else experiences. And I know as people start coming in, we will welcome them and we will make sure that they get up to date. But please, during the presentation, please submit any questions that you have. We will have Q&A at the end. But please go ahead. Do not forget your questions. She's going to take the time to answer them towards the end, and we're going to have some activities. But Unique, the floor is officially yours. Thank you for being here. We are blessed. Go ahead.
No problem. Thank you so much, Lorraine, for that beautiful introduction. I told her I was going to blush because I'm always humbled by the nice things that people have to say about me. Not because I'm shocked, but because it's just so overwhelming at times to know how you impact people's lives. This is such an honor to be on this platform for Laurel Crown Women. Lorraine told you about my story of how she came in contact with me, but I met Lorraine at a time when I did not know I would need the sisterhood that we have came to know and love for one another, but she was an angel sent in the form of a sister. So Lorraine, thank you for just helping me to be the woman that God was shaping in that very dry, dark space for me, and just being with me through this journey now into ownership of a new business and doing the thing that God has called me to do. So without further ado, ladies, really quickly, I want to see faces because I see a lot of names and I see a lot of mutes. If you can, just put your camera on really quickly because you looking at me and girlfriend, I just want to look at you. That's it. Hey, there we go. Give a nice wave to your sisters on the interweb, as I call it. Somebody said on America's internet. So if you can see, look, you ladies are looking beautiful. Thank you for taking time out of your busy schedules to join this space with me. I don't say that lightly. You could have chosen anybody to pour into your life. And so I am so grateful and honored that you chose me. So I'm going to share my screen so we can see the presentation. Awesome. Can everybody see the presentation clearly? Yeah. Okay, great, because I can't see anybody, but I can. All right, here we go. Now I can at least see. If I get a thumb up, I can see it now. Wonderful. So let's go to present. Perfect. So thank you again to Laurel Crown Women for inviting me to speak on owning your now. This is something that I am very passionate about. I have several different passions. One of those things includes, number one, God. He is my passion. And anytime I get to be a speaker for him, it is definitely something that I am humbled and honored by. My second thing is health in general, especially that of women's health. That is a passion of mine. That is something that I champion my work in because I want to see women win, and not win crossing the finish line, struggling or scraping by, but girlfriend, I want us to do it holding our crown on the top of our head and owning our spaces. So my name is Unique Cassell. I'm a lifestyle therapist, and I'm the owner of Good Health Practices. So the title of our event today, or my presentation, is Owning Your Now by Reframing, Acceptance, and Sustaining. What can you expect to learn? I have a few things, but I've strategically placed these items in this order so that you can get the maximum potential from what we're going to share today. So number one, reframing. We will identify the lies you use to cope and learn how to tell yourself the truth about your situation. This is important, ladies, because through centuries, ladies have not only believed the lies that we told ourselves, but we also believe the lies that other people tell us. And this becomes burdensome. So we'll talk about that as we go throughout the chat today. The next one is acceptance. You will learn how to be happy with who you are now, not tomorrow, not after you lose the 10 pounds, not after you get the next degree or buy the bigger house. No, girlfriend, you're going to learn to love you today and the woman that God has created you to be right now. And then to close it all out, we're going to talk about sustaining. You will find out how to create a system that will help you to live healthier in your now. I'm a strong believer in systems. I preach this to my clients probably too much, and they're like, okay, we get it. Set boundaries, have a system. But systems help us to run our lives efficiently and effectively, ensuring that we have the healthiest space to be in. So let's get into work. Reframing. What is it? Reframing is a technique used to shift your mindset so you're able to look at a situation, person, or relationship from a slightly different perspective. There are several ways that you can do this. It is a process. Most of the things that I will talk about today is a process. If you were looking to come here and say, oh, you think you're going to give me the one-stop shop to clear up all of my dreams, I wish. Okay, I wish I was a musician or a magician, but I'm not. I'm a therapist. I can do a lot. I'm a prayer warrior, but magician is not in my tool bag. However, I am a strategist who loves teaching women, especially, how to have tools to be successful. So in order to reframe, you have to do several steps. The first step in reframing is recognizing. What are you telling yourself? What are you thinking about your situation, right? So when you're in this situation, you are thinking certain thoughts. Sometimes those thoughts come, oh my goodness, I'm panicking. I tell Ruth all the time. Ruth is my daughter, by the way. She's 8, a beautiful, vibrant 8-year-old little girl. And so we have this joke where we tell each other, I'm shaking the table, I'm shaking the table. And that's our code word for saying things are getting really intense and I can no longer handle it. So the first step in reframing is to recognize how you're feeling in the space. When I'm doing therapy, I will oftentimes ask my clients, how does it make you feel? I know it's a very TV thing for a therapist to ask, but it's a great question because in that question, it challenges the brain to think about where you are in the moment. Stop. How do I really feel about this? Am I thinking about something? Am I reacting on something that may be affecting me in the past? Am I having feelings that someone else is telling me to feel? Or is this genuinely how I feel? The next step is to identify, what is your pattern? Another good question is, what are you actually feeling in this space? So I read an article by the counseling teacher, and she listed 5 negative thoughts. The first one is stewing. Most of us ladies are stewers. I myself can be a stewer at times. And the stewer is also like the teapot. We put it on there, and before we know it, it's like that old-fashioned teapot. You sit it on the stove, you turn it on real low, and all the while that water starts to bubble, bubble, bubble. And before you know it, it'll start to whistle. For most of us, stewing is just like that. We constantly focus on that negative thought loop and we play it over and over again. And before we know it, any sign of positivity is gone. Okay, so stewer's not you. Maybe you're a magnifier. You pull out your magnifying glass, or if you're like me, we pull out our reading glasses and honey, we start to say, you know what? They did this because of that. I knew she was jealous of me. That's why she did it. I knew I didn't get that job because you know what? They're jealous, they're haters. And we start to magnify or come up with conclusions that are not true and overgeneralize. Everybody thinks this way of me. Everybody does that, right? I'm never gonna get it. The third thing, that maybe this is you, you're an all or nothing kind of girl. It's either 100% success or 100% failure. Going back to my lovely daughter, that's how she is. Bless her heart, she and I are working on it, but mommy, it's trash. It's throw the whole thing away. And I'm teaching her, no, it's not about throwing it all away. It's about appreciating where we are right here, right? Let's look at this thing. What are the parts about it that you like? What didn't you like? But most of the time, I have a lot of women that identify with Ruth and say, if I'm not 100% successful, then I want to throw it all away. If I don't have the husband, the house, and the 2.5 kids and the dog, throw it all away. My dreams are canceled. I'm not a woman, right? But that's not realistic. The fourth one is the fortune teller. You already know the outcome before it happens. Girl, I knew that wasn't gonna work. I knew it. I shouldn't have never ever went, because I already knew that before I went to the event that it was not going to be worth going, right? I knew I shouldn't have tried to go and lose weight. Going to the gym, I knew I was just going to go one day and never go again. Negative thinking. So you're the fortune teller. Okay, that one doesn't sound like you. Well, let me come down your street. And this one, I know we've all been there, done that, bought the bumper sticker for this last one. Personalization. We think it's all about us. Sometimes this looks like that negativity where we're doubting who we are in the space. Well, maybe they didn't do it because of something that I did. They didn't like me because of a behavior that I did previously. Newsflash, it's not about you. Some things simply belong to people, and we have to accept that. We might be powerful in most spaces. I'll give it to us. Ladies, we are powerful, but powerful enough to change someone else's perspective? No, that's their work and it belongs to them. So what do? When you identify which one you are, which area you're sitting in, and who's controlling your thoughts? Is it the stewing, the magnification, the fortune telling, personalization, or all or nothing? Once you decide how your brain is thinking, you challenge it. Ask yourself these 3 questions. Number 1, is there any validity to what I'm saying? Test it out, prove it. Okay, so this person doesn't like me because I'm wearing this dress. Is it true? Have I asked her if she doesn't like me because I'm wearing this dress? Have her actions shown me that? Or am I internalizing what she said? Because maybe I'm feeling insecure about the dress because my hips are showing out. Listen, my grandmother blessed me with hips and I own them things. And I know sometimes they gonna show out. It's not the other woman looking to say that they are. I just know it. And so I tell myself the truth about it so that when I'm put into situations where it comes up, I can validate what I'm saying about myself, right? So the first question, is there any validity to what I'm saying? The second question to ask when you're challenging this negative thought, would my best friend say the same thing about me in this moment? We all have those moments when, and I know I do this with one of my sisters a lot, well, both of my sisters. I'll call them up and I'll say, hey girl, this is what I said to this person. Was that crazy? So, and most of the time my sisters will tell me, no girl, you wasn't crazy. You were right on target. Well, how you say it? Did you say it with attitude or were you calm about it? And if I'm not, they will quickly check me. Yes, girl, that was you. Reframe and rethink it. You might want to apologize. That was a little spicy. But most of the times they'll say, I do see your perspective. I understand the point that you were coming from. And it helps me to reframe my thinking on that subject. I oftentimes will do this with myself as well. I'll say, well, if I were to call this girlfriend up, how would she say this to me? Would she think the same thoughts that I'm thinking about myself? And most of the time the answer is no, they wouldn't. The third thing, will I remember this moment in a week, a month, or a year from now? If I were to ask you guys to put in the chat, let me do that. Let's have a little chat work here. Put in the chat if you can remember. So number 1, let's think of a negative thought. If you got your negative thoughts, put a 1 in the chat. Let me see some 1s in the chat. If you get your negative thought in there that you thought we're going to use this week. This week, go ahead and put your 1 in there. I don't see no 1s yet. And maybe that negative thought could have been, oh my goodness, I'm a horrible mom because I didn't have dinner on the table by a certain time. Let me go, I'll put a 1 in there for that one. Okay. So you thought okay, we all got our negative thoughts in there. Perfect. So I want you to think about your negative thought, right? Next week, are you going to remember that negative thought? Are you going to remember the time you cooked dinner, right, for that person? Are you going to remember the time what dress you wore next week? If the answer is yes, give me a 1. If the answer is no, give me a 2. So if you're not going to remember it in next week time, put a 2 in the chat. If you are going to remember this negative thought, put a 1 in the chat. Okay, I got some 1s, I got some 2s. This is why it's important. And I love the honesty. I love that I'm seeing some 1s and some 2s, right? Because it might be a big decision. It might be a big negative thought that we're breaking down and really getting to the nitty gritty and asking ourselves how we think about that thing. Really challenging, what am I saying about this moment? So once you're challenging those thoughts, now is the part that we get to the reframing. This is where it gets tough, ladies. Be honest. Take ownership for what's yours and give away what's not. Too often, we're holding on to everything for everybody else, but we're not doing our work. Okay? We are all gifted with a personal bucket. A personal burden bucket is what I like to call it. Some people's burden buckets are big. Some people's burden buckets are small. Just like the junk in your trunk, and I don't mean the one on your car, just like the junk in your trunk, there's only space for your stuff. I don't got nobody else's stuff in my trunk, okay? As much as I want to admit it, I just don't. It's only space for my stuff. And that's the same thing with your burden bucket. In order to reframe those thoughts, you have to get rid of what's not yours. Are you carrying someone else's opinions, someone else's hopes and dreams, someone else's perspective? If you are, grab that burden by the hand and throw it right on out. In the words of my sister, not my burden, not my problem. It sounds easy, but it's true. I don't have space for your stuff because I'm carrying my own. And when I learn to deal with my own issues, then I'll be able to properly place those burdens where they need to go. But my burden bucket is not for your expectations of how God has told me I need to run my life. Okay? So, just a quick review. When we are challenging those negative thoughts, we want to first recognize. After we recognize what we're thinking, we want to identify, how am I thinking about this? Am I stewing? Am I catastrophizing? Am I all or nothing in this moment? And then we want to challenge it. Is this important? Am I still going to remember this moment a week from now, a month from now, a day from now? Will my best friend think the same thought about me? And then we want to reframe through honesty. We want to take ownership of what's ours and give away what's not, remembering that we only have space in our burden bucket for what is truly ours. Remembering what I think or believe to be true dictates my feelings, which controls my actions. When my thoughts change, my feelings and actions will follow. So our next topic is acceptance. So once you're reframing, you'll move into acceptance of where you currently are. This is how you own your now. So first we start off with our thoughts, right? I just talked about what you're thinking controls how you feel, and then your feelings control your actions. So our thoughts is the reframing part. That's our thinking space. That's where our mind is. Next, we move on to the acceptance. Acceptance is the ability to accept situations that are outside of your control without judging them, which in turn reduces the suffering that is caused by them. Acceptance, ladies. I've heard a lot of talk in pop psych, or what they call popular psychology, or I like to call Facebook psychology. There are a lot of therapists on Facebook and Instagram. Do not fall into their traps, okay? If you need help, sit on a real couch, talk to a real professional. But in pop psychology, they talk about, accept it, get into the feelings, with the understanding that you will just accept any and everything. Acceptance is not this fake facade of happiness, putting on a mask and just saying, I'm happy about everything in my life. Acceptance going back to our definition, is the ability to accept a situation that is outside of your control. So you are going to still have those feelings. Feelings are not bad. It's what you do with those feelings, right? So number one, this is how we process or get to the acceptance and taking ownership of where I am. This is where we are moving from the thoughts. Once we've controlled our thoughts, we're moving into that feeling stage. And we can check in with our hearts and our minds to see what's really going on so that our actions can be in line with healthy living. So number one, we're going to look at the event, right? So what happened? Maybe you didn't get the job interview that you went to. That's our event, right? So the event comes, and then you have a cause, the accepted feelings, and the productive plan. So in the event, we talk about what actually happened. This is where we just state the facts, not even how you feel about it. Well, what caused it? Maybe it was someone else's control. Maybe we were late. Maybe, things didn't work out the way we intended them to. There's a myriad of things that could have caused an event to go wrong. In order to identify and to get to acceptance, you have to look at those two steps. Oftentimes we jump to part number 3 without looking at everything else and all of the factors that played into it, right? So how do you feel about it? That is an important question. Yes, I said it's my therapy question, but it's important in your everyday life to ask, how do I really feel about this? Get really specific with those emotions that are not the easy to reach for ones, such as anger. Usually when I'm working with my children in therapy, I'll say, well, how did you feel about it? I was angry about it. And so I go a little deeper. Let's go a little deeper. Were you angry about it, or were your feelings hurt? And when I start to dig a little deeper, we get to the root cause of that problem. Us, like children, oftentimes it's not just anger. That's just the easy or the first emotion that we've identified with. But maybe you're disappointed. Maybe you're feeling rejected, insecure, misguided, surprised, overqualified, undervalued, underappreciated, overwhelmed. The list goes on. When we understand how we really feel about our situation, we can plan for a resolution that will lead to healing. Again, when you truly understand how you feel, then you can plan for resolution. All right, let me think. Let me make it a little bit more clear. So let me get back to my chat. Let me find my chat, because I want to see. You guys can't talk to me, but I do want to see how things are shaping up. So how many of you have babysat somebody? If you babysat anybody, put a 3 in the chat for me. Okay, so I see some 3s rolling in. At least everybody on here has babysat somebody at least once. And if you haven't, I challenge you, find you somebody's kid, a pet, anything, babysit. You will learn a world of things from babysitting. And if my name is not unique, and a kid comes, they're crying, tear-stained faces, they come arms folded and pouting, right? This is not fair. If you have a kid that ever tell you if something's not fair, put a 1 in the chat. Mind you, they give you no more background. They just come to you saying it's not fair. You don't know why they're crying, what happened, the background story to it. And you, like any other babysitter, are perplexed at what's going to go next. Welcome to therapy. This is the seat I sit in. And this is the seat that many of us sit in our own lives. Even said it as a kid. I had somebody say they even said it as a kid. Yes, I said it as an adult. If I'm being honest, this is an honest moment. I even said it as an adult. That's not fair. However, what that child might be communicating is, I felt taken advantage of. The rules were not explained to me properly, right? When we start to ask those questions, what happened, right? What made you feel this way, right? I say it as an adult all the time too. What happened that this moment feels unfair to you? And as that babysitter, once we start pulling it out, we're able to give that child the solution that they need so that they can feel better inside about their situation. Was it truly an unfair situation? Or maybe you didn't understand the rules to the game. Maybe this person took advantage, right? Fairness may have nothing to do with the situation, but that person's feelings still need to be validated. Yours do too, but it's only when you accept them to say, I feel hurt in this space. That is the only time you can be heard and start to create a plan around those feelings, right? So planning, what is in your control? I love to say this, and I teach women all the time. Focus on what you can control. My mother always says, those who don't plan for failure, plan to fail. Come up with a plan, stick to it, work towards your plan. And if that plan falls through, plan again. She said that, but that is one lesson that I've taken with me, not only in my life, but something that I give to my clients as well. What is in your control? So many times we're trying to control what is out of reach. Girlfriend, sis, baby girl, mind your business and it will prosper. That's even when it comes to God. Mind your business, okay? Minding someone else's business is likely to leave you feeling out of control. So many times we as women want to throw on the cape with the S on our back and say, I can save the world. All the while giving us anxiety, stress, depression, and we wonder why our burden bucket is so heavy, because you're taking on other people's business. Once you accept how you feel about it, take ownership. This is mine. You don't get to make me feel small about something or an area where I know that's not my business. You not choosing me doesn't say anything about me. It says something about you and what you wanted. You abusing my space doesn't say that I deserved abuse. It says that I was hurt by your action, but that says something about you and your character. Oftentimes we throw the S on our chest and we're looking to solve problems that have nothing to do with us. And that's acceptance you cannot get on board with. You can't accept someone else's stuff for them. You can only accept what's yours. So when you are creating that productive plan, weed out. This is why that reframing is the first step. Weed out. What am I thinking about this space? Am I taking on something else? How do I really feel? Once you've gotten those thoughts in check, how do I feel about this? Am I being honest about my feelings so that I can make my next step? And then am I rushing ahead of God and planning out my life for me, or am I giving him room to be God in my life? Am I trying to play God in someone else's life or situation? And if I am, our prayer has to be, God, help me to control the things that you've placed in my control and trust you with the rest. All right. So if this is sounding good to you, and I know we're moving quickly because I want to get to the activity. I'm really excited about our activity. As much as I love being a therapist and digging deep, I 100% love teaching people how to use what I give you on the couch once I'm gone, because you can't sit on the couch forever, okay? As much as I would love to be in your pockets, be on your homes, on your sofa, talking to you like a good girlfriend, I can't, because I'm only one girl. And I don't like to throw an S on my chest because I recognize it's not my business, but it is your business to care about you. So I love teaching women how to get tools. So I'm going to finish this so that I can get to the next step. All right. So after we've gotten some acceptance, we've looked at the event, we've looked at the cause of what happened, who did it to us and why. We've identified that. We've gotten to the acceptance of our feelings, whether we mad, sad, happy, angry, whatever. We have owned it. This is my feeling. This is why I feel this way. And now we're planning on what to do. Next is sustaining. This, ladies, is where the rubber, as they say, meets the road. This is where you got to roll up those sleeves, right? Because you've got your thoughts in check. So we're thinking positively. Okay, so the jeans are not bad. I just listen, I didn't got a little thick. Okay, I just need to go up a size. So we changed the thinking of something healthy. Then maybe somebody didn't say something to us at work, and now our feelings are feeling some type of way. Oh, girl, ooh, you're looking a little plump. I'm not plump. Okay, I am just well-rounded. That's all. Reframing those thoughts. We've checked with our acceptance. Okay, I felt hurt by what she said to me, because I too am feeling a little insecure about my weight gain, my COVID weight gain. But sis, I gained it. It's here now. My only options are to buy the bigger jean size or go to the gym to slim it down. Okay? Those are my options. So I've developed my acceptance, and now we're going to sustain our mental health throughout it. I'm no longer going to allow Susie Q at the office to make me feel bad because I got a bigger dress and I'm looking a little rounder these days. I'm not going to let Susie Q offend me anymore. So what is the solution for that? Take a sip. Okay? So have a seat and take several sips. The SIPS is an acronym for how to sustain your mental health, not just for the rest of your life, but starting today. So for the S in our SIPS, number one is to strategize. Identify what you need in your space to be your healthiest self. Sometimes, even in our houses, we have a room. It's cluttered. We don't like it. Every time we go in there, it's draining to you. You may need to clean up that space, right? Or you have those pants that you can no longer fit. Throw them away. Throw them out. Get rid of them. Buy a new pair. Maybe you're holding on to pictures of an old relationship that no longer serves a purpose to you. Be thankful for the lessons that God gave you when you were in it. Get rid of it. All right, so strategize. Identify what you need in your space to be your healthiest self. I'm a lover of essential oils. I probably have a diffuser in almost every room or every layer of my house, every level of the house, because I love warm, inviting smells. I love my space to be inviting with what comes through my nose. All right, so look around your space, see what's in your space that is taking away from your health, and evaluate things that you can put in it that may already be in your home that you can highlight to elevate that space. So strategize is the first S, was the S in our SIPS. I, be intentional. Dedicate a set time to practice your healthy activities. Nothing happens without practice, and nothing happens without being intentional about it. All right, let me go back to my chat. Let me give it to my chat because I don't want y'all to get lost, okay? So if you set a New Year's resolution to get fit, go ahead and give me a 5 in the chat. Be honest. Just be honest. Give me a 5 if you have said, I'm going to get fit this year. We're in March, so we're in the first quarter. You still got time. You don't have to be shy. Okay, so nobody's, okay, now 1 5, we're going to get fit this year. Okay, I see some more coming through. Okay, when I get fit, and this could be, anything. Doesn't have to be the gym. Okay, so I see some 5s. Now, and I see some sweat coming in. Don't sweat, because we're in quarter 1. We're not going to go to those negative thoughts. Come back. All right? The reframing says I'm in quarter 1. I still have some time to get it together, but my intentionality says, what steps am I willing to take to get to my goal? What can I change today to get me to my goal? Maybe you're not a gym person, right? You're trying to put that in your bucket, and that's becoming a burden. You might not be a gym girl, but you do go to Target. You do go to Walmart. Park a little further back. Take a walk around the whole store. Don't just give yourself a little time to shop the whole store. Before you know it, you did a 15-minute walk. Working on your fitness, right? Okay, so maybe you're not a gallon of water a day girl. Get the water bottles, put one by your bedstand. If you're anything like me, you get thirsty in the middle of the night. Instead of having to get up, you have your water right there. You're incorporating more cups of water. The more you drink, the good thing about the body is the more it's going to want. Intentional steps don't have to be anything large or big to be like, oh, I'm doing it. Most of us, if we were to do that, we'd stop. as quickly as we started, we would stop it. But setting little goals or little intentional steps to get to the bigger goal, right? Health starts in your mind. So when I make intentional steps in my mind, remember, my feelings about those steps will change and then my actions will follow. All right, so I'm seeing a lot of good stuff on here. I gotta stop eating before 4:30. It's the Sabbath. It is. Listen, we don't make no sacrifices on the Sabbath. Calories count different on the Sabbath. Okay, that's not true, but I'm gonna pretend. Get those steps in. Yes, you got to get those steps in. But how we do it, remember being intentional about it, guys. So little incremental steps give us the biggest change in the end. The next one, thank you guys for your participation. Because I can't see you, it helps to read in the chat. All right, practice. This is the part of our P, practice. Practice makes permanent. I know we've heard it taught, practice makes perfect. Perfection is not our goal. Permanence is. As humans, that is pressure, okay? To say, I want to be perfect. Christ is perfect. We are perfect through him, but we want to be permanent. We want the things that God has instilled in us to be permanent to get us ready for our heavenly homes, okay? So practice makes permanent. Reinforce health by teaching the brain a new habit. Okay, I'm going to get scientific right here for 2 seconds. When we start a new habit, a habit is formed. It takes 15 to 30 days to form a new habit. What it does to the brain is it literally creates a new groove. So the more you do that practice, the more you cultivate that habit, it creates that groove to the brain so that it goes here. Oftentimes when you're coming home from work, there may be several different ways to get there, but usually you take the same one. Because your brain goes on autopilot. You've already created that groove of this is the fastest way to get there. This is the way I know. This is the way I'm comfortable with. This is the way my GPS takes me. So I'm going to go that way. And you could probably drive it with your eyes closed because you have that groove in the brain. It's the same thing when you're creating a new habit. After those 30 to 60 days, your brain has a new groove in it. If you were to cut it open, you'd see it. It's a new groove where it says, this is the channel where I'm now going to do this. That's why it's important to take incremental, intentional steps. All right, wrapping up our sips, girlfriend, because right now we got a sip. We got one. Okay, I want you to have several sips. So the last part is support. And this S, just like the first one, is very, very important. Support. Find a tribe of people who want to see you win. I started my fitness journey. I've always been pretty fit, but I wanted to be intentional about my fitness this year. And so one of my good girlfriends here, I have an Apple Watch and we followed each other. And I was just like, oh, I want to close out all of my rings on the Apple Watch. Like, yeah, it's a fitness tracker. And so I told my good girlfriend, Jameen, I said, Jameen, I'm going to close out all of them for the month of February. It's Black History Month. I'm going to do it. I'm happy to say I did it. But if I wanted to quit, okay, many times, Jameen would kindly text my phone, you need to get on up. Close them rings, sis. We have goals to accomplish. You need to close your rings. And so at the end of the month, I laughed and I told her, I was like, this is really encouraging because I wanted to give up so many times, but something as simple as just putting somebody else on my journey with me, inviting her to take that journey with me, helped encourage me along the way. And it encouraged her because she was able to close her rings for that whole month, knowing that we were doing it together. And she got me on another month. I think she duped me. I must say it. I think she duped me, but I'm glad for that. Because of her support, not only was she able to accomplish her goals, she helped me accomplish mine. So find you a tribe, ladies. Find that. If you want to start a new hobby, find people who do it. You are not the only one. Like Solomon said, there's nothing new under the sun. So whatever you're wanting to do, find you a group of good friends who are already doing it so that they can cheer you along on the way. Okay, so looking at our sips, number one, strategize. Be intentional. Set incremental goals to get your steps completed and get to work up to that goal. Practice makes permanent, right? I'm not trying to be perfect, but I want my new goal to be permanent. And then I'm searching long and hard for my tribe. I'm looking for my support, right? One of the things I want you to remember as a huge takeaway is this: maintaining your mental health is a practice. It is. It's not a journey. It's not a destination. It is a journey. It's not a destination. As you grow and change, so will your mental health needs. Check in regularly to ensure that you are fulfilling your mind and body with what's necessary for you at all times. These changes could be day to day, month to month, or season to season. None of these changes are bad. Therefore, the resources needed to be at your healthiest are not bad either. The takeaway for this moment is my health is my main priority. Anything that costs me my health and wellness is too expensive and needs to be reevaluated. One of the things I think I champion so much with my clients is to make sure they're working on that mental health. And this is where I have to get serious, because oftentimes as Christians, we love to spiritualize, pray about it. Yes, pray about it. But faith without works is dead. So maybe you have to get on that anti-anxiety medication to bring things back in while you're working with your therapist, to learn tools on how to regulate, to look at that history, to see some of those triggering traumatic experiences that have you in this anxious moment. Don't be afraid to do whatever you need to bring that health into alignment. Sometimes we get caught up on the method to our health and not really focusing on what is my actual goal. What am I putting in place today so that I can set myself up to be my healthiest for years to come? I have to say that because, like I said, as Christians, and I don't want to take away the power of prayer, because prayer is not the least we can do. In the words of my dad, it's the most we can do. But prayer, through prayer, God talks to us and puts people in our path to give us the health and wellness that we need. So don't miss out on it because it doesn't look like what you prayed for. All right. Well, that is my presentation. That's my presentation, but we're not going to ask questions yet. I know it has that on there, and I did not change that. However, we are going to, let me stop sharing because I want to see people. I want to see everybody. There we go. So that was the presentation portion of things. Now, this is where the fun part comes in that I was telling you ladies about. I've created a workbook for you. Yay! Yes, I'm putting you to work. Grab your pens. If you don't have your pens here, now is the time to go and grab your pens, darling. Grab your pens. If you like me, you need a little extra help focusing on them words, put your glasses on. Because our tech lady, Miss Lizette London, is going to separate us into groups. When you get into the groups, there will be 3 activities. The first activity will be on reframing, right? Because we're looking at the thoughts, feelings, and action. So the reframing is the thought portion. We're going to look at how am I thinking about something. I want you, if you've ever played this game, maybe you played it in high school, it's like 3 truths, 3 lies, and a truth. We're not guessing nothing. We're going to be sure about it. You're going to tell yourself what are the 3 lies, identify 3 lies, and then based on what we've learned today, counteract those 3 lies with 3 truths. Okay, so a quick example, I'm a bad mom. I'm not a bad mom. So my lie is I'm a bad mom. My truth would be, I'm feeling overwhelmed by my duties right now, and I don't like it. That's the truth. Okay, you are not a sinner because you do not like what's going on in your life. You're honest and you're a great Christian for admitting it. Okay, so tell yourself 3 lies and 3 truths. I want you to use this time to share with the women that are in your group. Okay, the second activity is the acceptance. So it walks you through the acceptance portion of it. And Lizette, let me see. I may have it up so I can show it to you guys. Give me 2 seconds. How about that? Here we go. Here we are. I'm going to show it to you. Share. Okay. So we have our reframing with the lies and reframe thoughts. Next, we have our acceptance. I want you to quickly think about a past event and work through the steps to accept how you're feeling without judgment. That's the biggest part, right? I don't want to judge what's going on. Remembering that I am not defined by the things that have happened to me. I get to be the hero in my own story. So talk about what happened, what caused the events, and how you're going to develop some acceptance around it. The last one is my personal favorite, not just because it has my name on it, but because I have this philosophy of creating care, right? Just all of us were created divinely by God, but like anything else in our house, it comes with an instruction manual. You too, darling, come with one. This care box is designed to do that. It's designed to teach you what's in your care manual. And so the care box, on this box here, you'll start with the outer layer, the biggest layer, right under the word, is where you'll write something you need in your physical that'll help you get to a healthier you. So you'll go through each level, put some items on there that'll help you get to a healthier you. So for example, for emotional, I might, my biggest ring, I might need to develop, find my tribe, right? Find my tribe. The white line might mean, okay, I need to check in with them weekly, because it's no good of having a tribe if you're never going to call them, okay? So check in with them weekly. And then out of that tribe, maybe I'm going to find one prayer partner. And then lastly, set up a time to meet in person to have a brunch at least once a month. All of those are steps that are moving towards a healthier me. So you'll get with your group and you'll come and talk about it. And after that, we'll come back together. And I believe Lorraine has a surprise for us. So after that, we'll wrap it up and take some questions. Before we break into groups, Lizette, is there anything else that I'm missing?
Nope. Just have fun. And if you have any questions or having technical issues, just put it in the chat and I will see it.
All right, ladies. If you have any questions, please do not hesitate to let us know. But yeah, I hope you find it fun and you enjoy the time in your groups.
All right. Deep breaths.
Yeah.
You're doing great.
Now that you've read all of that and you've done it, now you can shh.
So how was it? Did it make sense?
Hey, Dawn. Hey, Jamin. Hello, Shar. Hey, Tara.
Hi.
Hello.
Hey.
Welcome back.
You look beautiful, Nick. Doing an awesome job.
Thank you, Auntie.
Hello, Dr. Mills. Welcome, everyone. Welcome back, Queens. Welcome back. I heard some good stuff in those groups. It was some good lies and truths. That was a hard one.
Oh yeah, I jumped into one and it was some good conversation going.
Very good conversation. Oh my goodness. Very good conversation. Was everyone able to click on the download? I hope everyone was able to click on the download. Welcome back. Just making sure everybody was able to click on the download. Okay, go ahead. Check it out, Shava. Try to get in that chat and click on the download, okay?
Okay, I saw it pop up and then when I went to the chat, I didn't see it anymore.
Okay, we'll put it in there one more time so you can click on it, all right?
Thank you.
There it is.
Hey,
all right, welcome back. Unique.
Welcome you.
Back, everyone. All right, so you guys know I love my chat box. So get those fingers ready to type. If you found this exercise, the breakout room to be, well, first of all, before we go to the breakout room, if you heard at least one thing that you can take away, give me some feedback. Drop me a 1 in the chat box if you said, okay, I learned one thing, if not for me, For my sister across the way, put a 1 in the chat box. Okay, awesome, awesome. That was my goal. I told Lorraine, I said, Lorraine, if somebody just says, yes, this is just what I needed, this talks to what I was going through, just one lady, then it was well worth my time and effort. So I am glad I'm seeing some ones in there. Somebody said I learned several things. Yes, and the breakout rooms were great. Awesome, awesome. So the books, if you did not finish the workbook, your general workbook, that is A-okay. I will encourage you to listen to what's coming up next so you can hear about that. And then if you had some questions in your group, put them in the chat box. I'd be happy to answer them during our Q&A portion. But yeah, the group room was really not about doing it all. Like, I understand we only gave you guys 10 minutes, but it was about starting that deep mind body work. Okay. Awesome. So Lorraine, I'm going to give it back to you for Q&A.
Excellent. Excellent. Is there, I see that, someone said that they need more help in the boundaries area. We'll definitely try to do that, for sure. Keep updated with Laurel Crown. We have a lot of different talks coming up. Is there anyone that have a specific question for Unique before we wrap everything up? A specific question. We can take 1 or 2 specific questions before we wrap everything up. So if you have a question, then please go ahead and put it in the chat. Or if you want to ask it right now, just raise your hand and we can go ahead and let you ask a question. Yes, Sister Scott, go ahead. You have to unmute yourself, lovely.
This has been great, Lorraine. Thank you so much for inviting me. Unique, I have a struggle with exercise. I need to exercise to keep my cholesterol down. I know I need to exercise. I will get started, have a good regimen, go buy me stuff, but it doesn't last long at all. But I love going to the store. So, and I love what you said about that, because when I go to Costco's, I get my steps in. But I can't go to Costco's every day.
No, ma'am. No, ma'am. So the thing is to take what you already like, right? You enjoy going to Costco's. If that's the walking exercise, so taking the bigger exercise that you like, I like walking. One of the things I do, because I'm like you, I will start going to the gym and then I will quit 2 days later. What I found though, is YouTube offers walking videos. So I can set it for 15 minutes here, 20 minutes there, 30 minutes, and I've burned all my calories on my lunch break or in between clients and sessions. So identifying what you like about working out. It's not about choosing a task you don't like. If you like walking around Costco's, okay, walk around your house. Set a timer on your watch. I'm gonna walk up my steps. I'm gonna walk to the kitchen. Get a little fitness tracker for your wrist to say, okay, how many steps am I actually getting in? Track that step progress. And then challenge yourself little by little. Okay, I walk for 5 minutes a day. Tomorrow I'm gonna walk for 10. Next week I'm gonna walk for 15. So remember, those little steps can help to get to the bigger goal of, all right, I want to be able to walk for at least 30 minutes a day. Start with 5 minutes here, 5 minutes there.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Sister Scott. You can do it. And listen, Costco is open every day. You may not need to shop, but you may just need to go ahead. You can memorize all the items every day. 10,000 steps in Costco. Come on. People start asking you questions. Well, where is that? What's that on that aisle? You'd be like, just go to the right and the left and you find it. Okay, you can do it because we can do it. She said it, baby steps. We can do it. Yes, choose stairs over elevator. Thank you so much, Unique.
You have a question. Dorothy has a question.
Oh, I couldn't see it. I'm sorry.
I just wanted to encourage Sister Scott if she could take my number. And I'll start walking. I have exercise tape and I walk. And but if somebody would call me and say, "Hey, did you do your exercise?" It would be, a motivated to get up and do it. So if maybe I can give her number and she get my number and I can say, "Hey, Sister Scott, let's do it today," and then we'll check on each other. Maybe say, "Did you do it?" And we'll get in there and do it. I think sometimes you just need somebody to help you.
That's
Okay.
right. Listen, go ahead and put your information in the chat for Dorothy, and go ahead and make that hashtag tribe. Hashtag
Yes.
tribe.
Remember, that's
Come
a part of our
on.
SIPs,
I love
right?
it.
Picking that
I love
SIP, the support. Yes, I love that support.
I love it. I love it. Okay, Sister Brand, go ahead. You have a question?
Yes, I wanted to ask. I have the gift of helps, and sometimes it's hard to set boundaries when people often come to you and they want you to help with their stuff. You mentioned that we have to not take on other people's stuff. So how do you balance all that?
So, particularly, you want to identify, okay, what are they asking? Am I able to do that? Is this something that is within my wheelhouse? And maybe it is, but maybe it's not for you to complete all of it. So setting those proper limits, okay, I think I was in your group, so I was talking about it a little bit, but you want to set some limits in there. So for example, Sister Brand, I'm having issues with my kids. And because you're great with kids, you might want to jump in, okay, well, girl, you need to do this, this, and that. Ask key questions. What do you need help with specifically? That's a great question, not only for them, but it's a key to yourself to say, we are not doing everything. Helping does not mean doing it all. Helping means creating an environment for this person to flourish, right? So I'm going to take a step back by asking them, what do you need help with specifically, and how can I do that? So that they can tell you what they need, right? And not just jumping in and doing it all for them. Next would be setting, okay, yeah, I probably could help them with all of that. I can help you with this. Setting those parameters for yourself. Boundaries are not for them. Boundaries are for you so that you can be in the right relationship with other people, right? Mm-hmm. So, okay, hey, I'd love to help you with all of it. I can help you by keeping the kids for 2 hours. Yes, you can keep them all day because you love babies, but I'm not going to, because I need to practice self-control for myself. I need to make sure I'm in my healthiest self so I don't burn out for the next time I have to help somebody else. And I'm teaching this person how to be healthy as well and not just take advantage. So having a gift of health is beautiful when you set boundaries and parameters.
Wonderful. Thank you. Mm-hmm. Okay, Sister Scott, I think, go ahead. I think that's going to be a last question. Am I wrong? Is there anybody else? Okay, go ahead.
I don't have a question, but one thing I would want to include too is sometimes you can refer them to somebody else that does that.
Resources. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yes, I see that in the chat. You're absolutely right. And honestly, I think one of the things that we have to remember is God has boundaries.
Yes. Yes.
From the beginning, right? He is the one who set boundaries. The ocean goes here, the earth goes here, the sun goes here, and he wants us to make sure we do it. Thank you so much. I want you ladies to know that Unique has an entire ebook. What she has given you access to is just the first few pages. And what Laurel Crown has done is we have purchased 5 ebooks and we're going to give them away to you ladies. What I need you to do in order to be able to have access to it is you need to go onto the Laurel Crown. This link is in the chat. Go to the contact page, and all you have to do is put your contact information in the inquiry, say owning your now. That's what it is. I need just put owning your now in the inquiry, and we will contact you and give you the entire ebook that she has created. She has graciously given us the first few pages. We are giving away, we have purchased from her, we are giving away her Owning Your Now. Make sure you go to the laurelcrownwomen.com page, to the contact tab, and add in there in the inquiry, Owning Your Now. We are going to give it away to the first 5 ladies. Now, the first lady that completes that contact is actually going to get the ebook, and she's going to get a wellness session with Unique to complete the entire ebook. All right. No, not the chat. We can't hear you, Elder Scott, but it's not the chat. It's going, you have to go onto the Laurel Crown page. It's in the link though is in the chat. All right. If you go to the chat, you just got to click on the link, and it's for For free, yes, it's for free. The wellness session and the ebook, the first person to complete that is going to get all of that time with Unique Bolden, with the wellness therapist, owner of Good Health Practices, for free. We are blessed to be able to have this moment with her. And so I hope that you all enjoyed it. Please, if you do have any questions for her, and if you do want to purchase the ebook and want to get a hold of it for your women's ministries, for your family members as Women's Month gifts, please go ahead and email her. The email is going to be popped up in the chat. If you don't see it, let me know. The email is going to go in the chat. Email her and ask for the inquiry. She will let you know how to purchase, how to get the ebook for your women's ministry groups and your ladies. We are so grateful and excited and thankful. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Unique, for just being able to give us this amazing presentation. We have been blessed by it, and we cannot wait to go ahead and do these activities on our own and see what God continues to do. Thank you for planting the seeds. Thank you for planting the seeds.
You're so welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. I know some of you are probably saying, well, what's different from the full book from what I have today? It is, the full book has journal prompts, other activities to help you create to help you to fully reframe some common things that you may not think, okay, maybe it's not a lie, but it's something that's an unhealthy thought pattern, reframing it to something healthy. And then that care box, it has journal prompts in there to help you fully look at those journal prompts and lead you to understanding more about your care plan and what you need to be your best self. So stay tuned with that, because later on 2023, I am hoping to introduce my newest book, where we're talking about the care and keeping of you as a lady and the things you need to set up to have a full care plan. So this is just an introductory book to that, but I just want you ladies to start owning your now today. This is not something that comes by accident, but it comes with intentionality and striving towards your purpose.
Thank you again. The information is in the chat. Please make sure that you get the information in the chat. Her information's in the chat. The Laurel Crown link is so that you can go ahead and put the inquiry so we can give away those ebooks. I can't hear you. I can't hear you, Elder Scott.
I don't see where I went in there, but I don't see anything where to click on.
Okay. Yes, it is. It is. Did you go on the Laurel Crown? Here it is. It's back in the chat again. Back in the chat again. If you click that one, it'll take you to it.
I know, but what do I click on to pull it up? I got that part, but I'm talking about to get the book.
All you have to do is put your information in the inquiry. Say owning your now.
Okay. Okay.
That's it. Just put owning your now. All right. And we will communicate with those who are getting the whole ebook and the wellness session. Thank you so much, ladies, for taking the time this Saturday afternoon to be with us and investing in yourself and listening to what God has for you. We hope you have a great evening. Blessings, blessings, blessings.
I just wanted to say thank you to everyone out. Lorraine, I saw some comments on there. Ladies, more importantly than thanking me, thank you. Like I said, thanks for choosing to come and be a part of your healing. It's not easy to invite people on your healing journey. So thank you for choosing to listen to me. So thank you, ladies, for joining today. And thank you, Laurel Crown, for having me.
Absolutely. All right, ladies.